Shout out to AB Promotions because AB Promotions asked the famous question, who's buying Ethereum right now? And that's a great question. We're going to talk about that in this video because there was a great deal of time where people had the opportunity to buy Ethereum as low as $1,800 in the $1,800 range up to about the $2,800 range. And now here we are approaching $4,000. So if you were doing what you were supposed to be doing on the Ethereum downside, shout out to you for being able to benefit from the Ethereum upside and hopefully approaching all-time highs, right? So we got an article here from CoinGape, all right? And this article says Ethereum price prediction. Bulls target $3,700 as Ethereum treasury accumulation soars, all right? And we asked the question a while ago, which cryptocurrencies would be the treasury cryptocurrencies? Because if you ask me, the treasury cryptocurrencies, because of the volume and frequency that they will need to be bought at in order to maintain a competitive treasury, those will be the cryptocurrencies that have the highest potential trajectory and the longest term potential trajectory, which is why it is very key to get in on those things before these bullish futures take off. Okay. Ethereum price eyes $3,700 amid ongoing whale and institutional buying as rising altcoin season index signals potential surge in demand. Not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, I think that BlackRock just got approved for staking with their ETF for Ethereum. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that. But if that's the case, that is going to bring a ton of investor money, institutional and beyond, into it because of the interest and passive income returns. All right. Ethereum price eyes a bull run to $3,700 if it overcomes a key resistance level. Whales and institutional buying might be a catalyst behind such a rally. The altcoin season index has risen to a 5-month high, which could bode well for Ethereum price. So when it comes to the altcoin season, again, a mathematical altcoin season, I really, despite what's going on now and the altcoins are doing well, if we're talking about a mathematical altcoin season where altcoins overtake Bitcoin dominance, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. However, the four altcoins that would be the ones to pay attention to leading the charge: Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and SuiSwap. They will lead the determination of whether the mathematical altcoin season is accomplished in 2025. All right. Ethereum is defending the crucial psychological level at $3,000 despite the broader crypto market retracing today. July 15th, due to growing concerns about what rising inflation could mean for crypto prices. At press time, the Ethereum price was trading at $3,055 amid ongoing whale accumulation that has sparked speculation of a potential rally to $3,700 as the altcoin season index rises. And as you guys are fully aware of, we are currently here. Okay. We are at this point. Okay. Ethereum price eyes $3,700 as bulls target key resistance. Ethereum price has been gradually moving within an upward sloping trend line, with bulls breaking multiple resistance levels as buying pressure is increased. This movement has led to the emergence of a rising parallel channel where the upper trend line is now serving as a strong resistance. And another thing that people tend to forget when it comes to Ethereum is that I've heard in multiple places that the Ethereum amount on exchanges is at an all-time low. It's lower, I believe, than it was in 2015. Another interesting thing that people tend to forget about with Ethereum is that Ethereum is deflationary. There's an active burn that occurs with Ethereum network use. So with this deflationary mechanism built into Ethereum, as well as the available Ethereum being at an all-time low, this should spike a very large upside rally. All right. I don't know. Again, I've always been interested in what's going on with Ethereum, because Ethereum, in my opinion, has never really exhibited price reflections of its actual value. We may finally be in the era of Ethereum reflecting, accurate price potential. Okay. Bullish traders who are buying the ongoing rally are now testing resistance at around $3,100. And if there's a strong move above it, Ethereum price might kickstart the next stage of its bull run. The 161.8 Fibonacci level of $3,700 is serving as the main target for bulls if they can overcome the channel's resistance and buying pressure remains strong. If the AO bars continue trending above the positive region with green bars, it will show a strong bullish momentum that could aid this bullish Ethereum price prediction. Okay. And again, this is old news. We're already beyond this. Okay. The on-balance volume is also leaning in favor of an uptrend, with the notable rise showing that the inflows to Ethereum have been rising steadily. And if this continues, the 23% rally to $3,700 might happen. Okay. And here we go. We're going to talk about the whales, the institutions, and the accumulation of Ethereum. There has been a significant surge in institutional interest towards Ethereum. All right. Why are people interested in Ethereum? One reason why people are interested in Ethereum is because people want to use Ethereum to create their own tokens and use the Ethereum network. Another reason why there's a surge in institutional interest towards Ethereum is because of the potential capital inflows going into the DeFi sector. Okay. Lots of positive news surrounding Ethereum. There's the Ethereum stakeable ETFs. The good news for Ethereum just does not stop, despite the fact that it seems like the price tends to come to year-long screeching halts. Okay. There has been a significant surge in institutional interest towards Ethereum, and this might also be among the factors allowing it to defend key support levels. As CoinGape reported, SharpLink Gaming has accumulated 270,000 Ethereum, making it the largest Ethereum holder. Now, I have not heard about this. If you guys have heard about this, shout out to you guys. We need to take a look at SharpLink Gaming. Okay. We need to take a look at SharpLink Gaming, see what exchange they're available on, and see what their price does over time with Ethereum in their treasury. Okay. Whales are joining the bandwagon and might also support the looming Ethereum price rally to 3,700, as Into the Block data shows an increase in large holder net inflows. These flows increased from 14,590 to 88,180 to show that whales bought 73,590 Ethereum in 24 hours. So shout out to AB Promotions. Who's buying Ethereum? Whales buying Ethereum. Right? Who's buying Ethereum? Whales buying Ethereum. When both whales and institutions are in an accumulation phase, it shows that they are expecting the current price to be a good entry point, with optimism that the rally is going to continue. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at this altcoin index. Altcoin season index. Bitcoin's dominance has been rising as the coin continues to chase new highs, but this has not left altcoins behind, as they also attempt to keep up with the current bullish market sentiment. The gains recorded by most altcoins in the last week have seen the altcoin season index rise to the highest level in 5 months. As the index rises, it signals that buyers' interest is beginning to shift from Bitcoin towards altcoins, and Ethereum might be one of the coins to benefit from this shift. Therefore, as this index rises, so will the Ethereum price, as traders anticipate that altcoins will begin to outperform Bitcoin. Okay. So this is interesting. All right. Shout out to the altcoin market. The altcoin market has been doing well. The interesting thing about the altcoin market, if you ask me, is that the altcoin market tends to do well in spurts. Okay. So, the altcoin market might be doing really well right now. Let's see if it can keep up the momentum for a couple of months. And if it does, that's great. All right. Ethereum ETFs attract record 726 million, pushing Ethereum price above $3,400. And again, we're way beyond that now because this article was written on July, or I should say published on July 17th of 2025. All right. BlackRock's iShares Ethereum Trust captures 500 million in inflows, leading the charge of the Ethereum funds. Okay. Spot Ethereum ETFs recorded their highest single day inflows to date on July 16th, with investors injecting a combined 726.74 million into 9 U.S. listed funds. Data from Social Value highlights renewed institutional interest in Ethereum, with BlackRock's iShares Ethereum Trust capturing the largest share of the capital. The fund took in nearly 500 million in a single day, pushing its total assets under management to $7.7 billion. Now, if I'm not mistaken, BlackRock's total assets beyond cryptocurrency, the total assets that BlackRock has in custody is about 12.5 trillion with a T, trillion dollars. Okay. We're going to be talking about BlackRock in a future video. Okay. Fidelity's Ethereum fund also recorded notable inflows, attracting over 113 million within the same period. Meanwhile, other funds also showed positive traction as well during the reporting period. Grayscale's Ethereum-focused funds brought in 87 million. Bitwise ETHW followed with 14 million. And Franklin Templeton's EZET registered a $5 million inflow. Invesco's QETH and VanEck's ETHV added 3.7 million and 3.6 million, respectively. Altogether, these Ethereum ETFs now manage $16 billion in assets and have attracted more than $6 billion in cumulative net inflows since launching. Now, there's a lot that can be said. There's a lot that can be said, and I think we'll wait for that quote unquote lot to be said on the next live stream. Okay. The recent surge in inflows marks a significant shift in market sentiment. After months of subdued activity, interest in Ethereum funds began to recover in late April. This trend gained momentum through June and now appears to be accelerating, with funds pulling $1.8 billion in new capital over the last 5 trading sessions. As a result of the latest wave of capital, Ethereum price rose above 3,400, its highest level in over 6 months. And again, we are currently beyond that. Okay. We are currently at the $3,700 level at the time of recording this video. Okay. Shout out to the people that watch this video. When you get to this part, please drop the current Ethereum price in the comment section. Okay. Please do me that favor. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the potential of $4,000 Ethereum. The Ethereum price predictions have changed. There was a large investment firm, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Standard Chartered, that gutted the Ethereum price prediction for the end of the year. They gutted their price prediction to about $4,000 because of Ethereum's sideways and downward action that Ethereum has been experiencing for a while now. All it took was just a couple of days of outstanding altcoin performance for everybody to go back on their gutting of the Ethereum prices. And now you're hearing these talks of a $5,000-$10,000 Ethereum by the end of 2025. Now, my question for everybody, what amount of Ethereum do you need by the end of the year? Give me your estimates and reasons why your estimates are legit. All right. Ethereum preps record short squeeze as analysts see $4,000 Ethereum price soon. All right. Ethereum is punishing shorts already, but another 10% Ethereum price upside will liquidate 1 billion, helping cement $4,000 per ETH in the process. Okay. Ethereum is currently forging a short squeeze that stands out in crypto history, says analysts. A 10% price increase would see another 1 billion in liquidated shorts. Shorts should now fuel a $4,000 Ethereum price rebound. Okay. Ethereum is making history as Ethereum price gains spark a short squeeze for the record books. Fresh analysis from trading resource The Kobisi letter issued on Friday now sees Ethereum hitting $4,000, quote unquote, soon. Okay. So we've got some good prices and we've got a short window of time to be able to lock in some low prices, right? Ethereum's price strength has become one of July's crypto market standouts as altcoins slowly begin following Bitcoin higher. As the largest altcoin by market cap, Ethereum is punishing short positions at a rate rarely seen before, Kobisi reports. Ethereum is making history. We are currently witnessing one of the largest short squeezes in crypto history. It's summarized in a dedicated thread on X. Okay. Ethereum has added 150 billion in market cap since July 1st, days after net short exposure hit record highs. Okay. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView confirms that Ethereum US dollar pair gained 20% over the past week alone. Local highs of $3,610 on Bitstamp almost matched the year-to-date record seen in early January compared to its 2025 low. The pair is up over 150%. Okay, look at these green candles. These green candles are just wild. These green candles are off the hook. Okay. Now, Kobisi not only sees a $4,000 level coming next, but also a continuation of the short squeeze. If Ethereum rises another 10%, another 1 billion of shorts will be liquidated, it calculated alongside data from monitoring resource CoinGlass. Furthermore, the fact that many of these shorts are leveraged is adding even more pressure. Ethereum could see $4,000 soon. Okay, so what we have now, and this is why we're in talks of altcoin season. And again, we've gone over this. People have different definitions of what altcoin season actually is. You know, we use the mathematical definition of altcoin season. That is when altcoins make up greater than 50% of cryptocurrency market dominance. Okay, we're having the altcoin conversation. Bitcoin dominance drops to March lows. Bitcoin, meanwhile, continues to consolidate below the psychologically significant $120,000 mark. Okay. At the same time, capital has been reported as flowing into altcoins as traders eye the potential for quicker returns. Bitcoin's overall crypto market cap dominance has halted a multi-year uptrend, falling to 61.4% this week, its lowest value since March. Okay. Bitcoin dominance has only dropped 4.5% from the local highs, and we can already see its impact on alts and alt Bitcoin pairs. Popular trader Dan Crypto Trades observed on X on Friday. Dan Crypto Trades pinned the dominance drop on outperformance from Ethereum and XRP in particular. When the market is eventually looking extremely overheated or shaky, capital will flee back into Bitcoin and cash stables, he warned. Cash and stable coins, drawing a comparison to late 2024. Okay, so yeah, this is very interesting, very good for Ethereum. I would like to see a $10,000 Ethereum pronto. Okay, I would like to see a $10,000 Ethereum pronto. All right, we're gonna talk about more price movement, more price action, okay, in comparison to altcoin against Bitcoin, okay, Crypto capital rotation surges as Bitcoin cools and altcoins explode. Okay. Now, again, I kind of define these things different than a lot of these people. If you're trading at an all-time high, I don't necessarily consider that quote unquote cooling. Maintaining an all-time high for months at a time is a pretty outstanding accomplishment, if you ask me. But in many cases, they consider this quote unquote cooling. So, just so we're clear. Crypto capital rotation surges as Bitcoin cools and altcoins explode. New Bitcoin buyers are stacking Bitcoin despite muted retail hype, while Ethereum, XRP, and other altcoins rally sharply as market dominance shifts. Meanwhile, corporate strategies evolve, with Ethereum now a serious contender for treasury holdings. If you ask me, Ethereum is built for treasury holdings. The fact that it has the staking built in, the fact that it has the ability to be a vehicle, a launch pad for these corporations to launch their own crypto, whatever it is that they want to do, some type of blockchain initiative, layer 2 type things, or even tokenize investment assets. Bitcoin to me seems to be where the institutional interest for utilization and for treasury should be. But again, that's just me. Bitcoin first-time buyers buy 140,000 Bitcoin in 2 weeks. Wow. Altcoin season heats up as Bitcoin dominance plunges. Michael Saylor's strategy hits record market cap amid Bitcoin rally. Ethereum treasuries surge as corporations mimic Bitcoin playbook. And again, you have to be careful with building these altcoin treasuries. Altcoins are altcoins. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Don't expect the Bitcoin results trying to mimic a Bitcoin strategy using Ethereum or Solana. You're going to get Ethereum or Solana results, whatever those results may be. They could be good, they could be bad, but they're not going to give you the exact same effect as Bitcoin. Okay. XRP nears record as market cap eyes $250 billion. Bitcoin first-time buyers buy 140,000 Bitcoin in 2 weeks. Wow. Fresh money is entering Bitcoin with first-time buyers piling in, even as retail hype stays low. And what is the gauge on retail hype? How do we know if retail hype is high? How do we know if retail hype is low? Where do we get this information from? With Ethereum leading the way, there has been a huge jump in social media mentions of many altcoins and higher price targets. With Monday's Bitcoin all-time high leading to mass retail FOMO leading to the top, the mass FOMO has shifted to Ethereum today with $4,000 price calls. Okay, so we just talked about the $4,000 Ethereum price calls. 140,000 Bitcoin have been acquired. New buyers increased their holdings by 2.86% in July, Glassnode reports. People are aggressively buying the dip. They had years to buy the dip, but they're buying the dip at the top. There's some people that are going to buy the top forever. There's some people that are going to sell the top forever. I don't know. Over $23 billion in Bitcoin was scooped up near recent price dips below $118,000. Retail interest remains weak. Google Trends show minimum mainstream FOMO. Okay. Altcoin season heats up as Bitcoin dominance plunges. And again, I don't necessarily know if I would call these plunges, but sure. Altcoins are breaking out with traders calling for a massive rally as Bitcoin market share falls. Totals chart shows a cup and handle pattern targeting $2.78 trillion market cap. Bitcoin dominance hits an 8-week low, falling below 63%, signaling rotation into altcoins. Ethereum leads. It's up by 24% in a week, fueling broader altcoin surge. Okay. Michael Saylor's strategy hits record market cap amid Bitcoin rally. How many people are investing in MicroStrategy stock? If you are investing in MicroStrategy stock, let me know. Now, mind you, I'm not asking anybody to tell me what's in their wallet. I'm just curious if this is something that you're investing in or not. MicroStrategy just closed at an all-time high market cap. Okay. It soared 21% in a month, Shares closed at $455.90, near all-time highs. Now remember, MicroStrategy stock is part of the quote-unquote 2030 millionaire plan, right? According to Michael Saylor, 10 MicroStrategy stocks should make you rich, right? So if people are working on getting that 10, put the number 10 in the comment section, okay? More Bitcoin buying. Strategy added 4,225 Bitcoin worth $472.5 million last week. S&P 500 eligibility. MicroStrategies now qualifies for the S&P 500 for the 11th day, okay? Ethereum treasuries surge as corporates mimic Bitcoin playbook. And again, this is, in my opinion, dangerous. This is something that can create a bubble, you know, and this bubble will not only affect the NASDAQ, it will not only affect the S&P 500, it will definitely affect the cryptocurrency market if this becomes a bubble and if this bubble pops as a result of some prolonged downside cryptocurrency action. Companies are now stockpiling Ethereum. Hopefully you have been doing the same, okay? Betting on its utility and staking yields. 545,000 Ethereum have been bought in the last 30 days. Over $1.6 billion worth added to corporate treasuries, okay? Bitmine pivots to Ethereum. Firm now holds $500 million in Ethereum after moving away from Bitcoin mining, which, you know, it's expensive to mine Bitcoin. I don't think it's that expensive to hold Ethereum in custody and stake it. SharpLink leads, which that's the gaming company that we talked about, holding 280,000 Ethereum, which is 846 million, with nearly 100% staked for yield. Oh my Lord. Calculate this yield. I think Ethereum stakes for about 2.5% APY. XRP nears record as market cap eyes 250 billion. XRP is exploding against Bitcoin and US dollar, eyeing new highs and a breakout rally. Okay, so we talked about the XRP price potential. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Ethereum is booming. All right, let me know what you think. What's the number of Ethereum we need? How many people are on the 10 MicroStrategy stock plan? Are you where you feel you need to be to maximize your upside potential in the crypto market in 2025? Let me know below. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice, smash the like button, share this video to your social media, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right.